A productive life is not built by strain, haste, or the anxious striving of the human will. True productivity is the natural result of harmony between thought, word, feeling, and action. When a person aligns with higher law, effort becomes effective, time becomes generous, and results appear with ease. Life responds not to force, but to faith intelligently applied. The first pillar of a productive life is clarity of thought. Thought is the architect of experience. What is held steadily in the mind takes form in the outer world, for thought is creative substance set into motion. Confused thinking produces scattered results, but clear thought moves directly toward fulfillment. When the mind is disciplined to dwell upon order, wisdom, and right action, the day arranges itself accordingly. A person who knows what they are about is not delayed by uncertainty, nor drained by indecision. They move forward with quiet certainty, and doors open where walls once seemed to stand. The second pillar is right speech. Words are living forces. They are not merely sounds but commands issued to life itself. Many people speak against their own good without knowing it, declaring fatigue, lack, delay, or limitation, and then wonder why productivity eludes them. Right speech affirms strength, timing, and divine order. When one speaks words of confidence and expectancy, they set in motion invisible helpers. Speech aligned with truth clears obstacles before they appear. A person who governs their tongue governs their destiny, for the spoken word is the bridge between thought and manifestation. The third pillar is faithful action. Action taken in fear is exhausting, but action taken in faith is energizing. Faith does not wait for proof, it moves as though the unseen were already arranged. Faithful action is not frantic activity but inspired movement. It is doing the next right thing with trust that it is sufficient. When a person acts from inner guidance rather than outer pressure, effort multiplies its effect. Much is accomplished in little time because the action is backed by spiritual power. Productivity increases not by doing more, but by doing what is appointed. The fourth pillar is emotional harmony. Feelings are magnets. A mind may plan wisely and speak well, yet emotional turbulence can scatter results. Worry, resentment, and impatience waste enormous energy. Peace, on the other hand, is a great accelerator. When emotions are brought into harmony through forgiveness and trust, strength is conserved and direction becomes clear. One who refuses to carry emotional burdens moves lightly and therefore swiftly. Life works with those who are inwardly composed, for they are not resisting the current of good. The fifth pillar is expectant gratitude. Gratitude is the open door through which increase enters. It is not thankfulness for what has already appeared alone, but a calm recognition that good is operating now. Expectant gratitude keeps the mind alert and receptive. It prevents discouragement and dissolves delay. A grateful person cannot be idle, nor can they be obstructed for long, because gratitude aligns them with abundance in motion. Where gratitude is present, productivity is inevitable. These 5 pillars uphold a life that is both peaceful and effective. They require no strain, only awareness and alignment. When thought is clear, speech is right, action is faithful, emotions are harmonious, and gratitude is alive, life becomes orderly and responsive. Work is no longer a burden but a channel, and productivity becomes the natural expression of an inner law fulfilled. Productivity flows from alignment of thought, word, and faith-based action, because life itself is governed by invisible laws that respond to inner order before outer effort. A person may labor endlessly, yet achieve little, while another seems to move lightly and accomplish much, and the difference is not strength or intelligence but alignment. When thought is steady and purposeful, it becomes a clear channel through which ideas move into form. Thought that wanders weakens results, but thought that is unified gathers power. The mind was not created to be a battleground of doubts but a throne from which direction is issued. Whatever consistently occupies the mind sets the pace and quality of life's outcomes. Thought alone, however, is not enough. Thought must be expressed, and expression occurs through the spoken word. Words are the visible edge of thought, shaping and directing its force. A person who thinks wisely but speaks carelessly divides their power. Speech that contradicts inner intention dissolves momentum. To say one believes in success while speaking of delay, exhaustion, or fear is to pull in opposite directions. Life responds not to wishes, but to declarations. When words are chosen with awareness, they become instructions to the unseen. Right words clear confusion, establish order, and invite cooperation from forces beyond calculation. Many people unknowingly sabotage their productivity through casual speech. They announce difficulty before it appears, complain about time before it is lost, and speak of weakness until strength seems distant. Yet speech can just as easily prepare the way. When one speaks of guidance, timing, and efficiency, the path adjusts itself accordingly. The spoken word is a seed, and each seed produces after its kind. A garden cannot flourish if weeds are planted alongside flowers, and the mind cannot produce results if speech is allowed to run wild. Discipline of speech is not silence, but intention. Aligned thought and speech naturally demand action, yet this action must be of a particular kind. Faith-based action differs greatly from forced effort. Forced effort strains against circumstances, while faith-based action moves with certainty that the way is already prepared. It is not rushed, nor is it hesitant. It proceeds calmly, trusting that each step reveals the next. Such action conserves energy rather than depleting it. When action flows from inner conviction instead of fear, it carries an authority that opens doors. Opportunities recognize confidence and arrange themselves around it. Faith-based action does not require full visibility of the outcome. It requires trust in direction. A person guided by faith does not wait for reassurance from appearances. They act because they know, and knowing precedes seeing. This kind of action attracts support, synchrony, and assistance that cannot be planned. Tasks complete themselves more easily. Interruptions turn into advantages, and time stretches to accommodate what must be done. Productivity increases not because hours are added, but because resistance is removed. Alignment also means that thought, word, and action agree with one another. When a person thinks of progress, speaks of progress, and acts as one who expects progress, life has no conflicting instructions to interpret. Confusion dissolves, delay shortens, energy becomes focused. This alignment creates momentum, and momentum is one of the greatest allies of productivity. Once movement begins in the right direction, less effort is required to continue. Life seems to cooperate because it is no longer being contradicted. Many people exhaust themselves through inner argument. They think one thing, say another, and do a third. This division scatters power. Alignment gathers it. When inner and outer are in agreement, even small actions produce large results. The mind remains clear because it is not defending itself against its own contradictions. Peace accompanies productivity, and peace multiplies effectiveness. There is no need to push when one is being carried by the current of right alignment. Faith-based action also requires release of anxiety about results. Anxiety interferes with alignment by introducing doubt into thought and tension into action. When anxiety is present, effort increases while effectiveness decreases. Trust restores balance. Trust does not mean passivity, it means certainty that action taken in harmony will bear fruit. One acts fully, then rests inwardly. This inner rest allows the unseen to complete what effort alone cannot. Much of what appears as luck is simply the result of trust removing interference. The alignment of thought, word, and action also establishes rhythm. Life responds to rhythm. When actions are taken at the right time, they require less force. When words are spoken at the right moment, they carry more weight. When thoughts are held steadily without strain, they mature naturally. Alignment tunes the individual to this rhythm. Productivity then feels natural rather than forced. Work becomes an expression instead of an obligation. A person living in alignment does not scatter their attention. They are not constantly correcting mistakes created by haste or fear. They move forward with purpose, and purpose simplifies decision-making. Many delays in life are not caused by external obstacles but by inner indecision. Alignment resolves indecision by establishing a single direction. Once direction is clear, movement follows, and once movement follows, results accumulate. The world responds swiftly to those who know what they are about. Certainty is a language life understands. Alignment produces certainty without arrogance and confidence without noise. Such a person does not announce their productivity. It announces itself through results. They are not overwhelmed by responsibility because responsibility is distributed naturally through cooperation and timing. What must be done appears manageable because it is approached in order. Faith-based action also protects against burnout. When effort is guided rather than forced, energy renews itself. The individual feels supported rather than burdened. This sense of support increases willingness to act, which in turn increases output. Productivity thrives where encouragement replaces pressure. Inner alignment creates this encouragement automatically. When thought is disciplined, speech is intentional, and action is faithful, productivity becomes a state of being rather than a struggle. One is no longer chasing outcomes, but allowing them to unfold through cooperation with higher order. Time becomes sufficient, resources appear, and obstacles lose their authority. Life moves with the individual rather than against them, and each day contributes meaningfully to the whole without strain, without haste, without the sense of pushing uphill, as everything flows from the same centered source, steadily, surely, and with an ease that appears almost effortless. Emotional harmony and disciplined speech preserve energy and accelerate results, because emotion is the fuel behind every thought and word. A person may have brilliant ideas and noble intentions, yet if their emotional state is turbulent, much of their power is wasted before action even begins. Emotion colors perception, directs attention, and determines how forcefully thought impresses itself upon life. When emotions are unsettled, energy leaks through worry, resentment, impatience, and fear. When emotions are harmonized, that same energy becomes available for creation, movement, and achievement. Emotional harmony does not mean the absence of feeling, it means mastery of feeling. Life was not designed to be lived in emotional extremes, swinging between hope and despair. Such fluctuation exhausts the nervous system and scatters focus. A calm emotional atmosphere, on the other hand, acts like clear air through which intention travels swiftly. Peace is not passivity, but power under control. In a peaceful state, the mind perceives solutions that remain hidden to the agitated. Many delays attributed to circumstances are in fact caused by emotional interference. Worry is one of the greatest drains on productivity. It consumes time without producing results and rehearses failure before it has any right to appear. Worry speaks constantly, repeating stories of delay, difficulty, and limitation. These inner conversations weaken resolve and slow progress. When worry is allowed to dominate, even simple tasks feel heavy. Emotional harmony begins when worry is replaced with trust. Trust conserves energy. It allows the mind to remain present, dealing only with what is required now rather than imagined futures that may never occur. Resentment is another silent destroyer of energy. Holding resentment binds attention to the past and anchors emotion to injury. Productivity belongs to those who are forward-moving, not backward-looking. A resentful mind revisits old scenes, relives old words, and reactivates old pain, draining vitality that could be used for present creation. Emotional harmony requires forgiveness, not as a moral obligation, but as a practical necessity. Forgiveness releases stored energy and restores clarity. When emotional weight is lifted, action becomes lighter and more effective. Impatience also disrupts harmony. Impatience assumes that life is slow, uncooperative, or resistant. This belief creates inner tension, and tension fractures energy. The impatient person rushes, makes errors, and must later spend time correcting them. Emotional harmony understands timing. It trusts that what is rightly ordered unfolds without forcing. Patience does not delay results. It prevents the waste that delay creates. Calm expectancy keeps effort aligned with outcome. Disciplined speech works hand in hand with emotional harmony. Speech expresses emotion, and emotion amplifies speech. Words spoken in anger, fear, or discouragement carry destructive force because they are charged with feeling. Such words often outlive the moment in which they were spoken, continuing to influence thought and behavior long after. Disciplined speech is not suppression but direction. It is the conscious choice to speak words that support harmony rather than disturb it. Many people underestimate the effect of habitual phrases. Statements like "I'm exhausted," "this is too much," or "nothing works out" seem harmless. Yet repeated speech becomes instruction. Emotion reinforces these words until they appear as reality. Disciplined speech interrupts this cycle. It replaces reactive expression with deliberate declaration. One does not deny temporary feelings, but refuses to crown them with authority through speech. Silence is often wiser than careless words. When speech is disciplined, emotional harmony is easier to maintain. Words chosen with care steady the emotions. To speak calmly in a tense moment is to regain command. To affirm order in the presence of confusion is to invite resolution. Speech can either inflame emotion or soothe it. Those who master speech master their inner climate. A stable inner climate supports sustained effort without depletion. Energy is preserved when emotions are not constantly stirred by reaction. Reaction is expensive. It demands immediate attention and pulls focus away from intention. Emotional harmony allows response instead of reaction. Response is measured and purposeful. It uses only the energy required, leaving reserves intact. Productivity depends not only on how much energy one has, but on how much is wasted. Emotional discipline prevents waste. Accelerated results follow naturally when emotional resistance is removed. Resistance slows everything. It creates friction between desire and expectation. When emotions agree with intention, movement is smooth. Life seems to cooperate because there is no inner opposition. Tasks that once required effort unfold with surprising ease. People respond more favorably, opportunities appear at the right moment, and timing improves. This is not coincidence but the effect of harmony removing obstruction. Disciplined speech also protects against discouragement. Discouragement often enters through words spoken too freely in moments of fatigue. Once spoken, discouraging words echo in the mind, reinforcing themselves. Guarded speech prevents discouragement from taking root. Speaking strength, even when tired, sustains momentum. Words of confidence act as support beams, holding the structure steady until energy renews itself. Emotional harmony strengthens intuition. When the emotional field is calm, guidance is clearer. Decisions are made more quickly and with greater accuracy. This reduces wasted effort spent pursuing wrong directions. Many failures are not due to lack of ability but to emotional noise drowning out inner guidance. Harmony restores sensitivity. Productivity improves because action is better aimed. There is also a contagious quality to emotional harmony and disciple. I-Ned speech. Others respond positively to those who are composed and measured. Cooperation increases, conflict decreases, and environments become more efficient. Much time is lost managing emotional fallout in relationships and workplaces. A person who maintains harmony becomes a stabilizing influence, and stability accelerates collective progress. Emotional harmony does not mean avoiding challenge. It means meeting challenge without surrendering inner order. When difficulty arises, the harmonious individual remains inwardly steady. Their speech does not magnify the problem, but affirms resolution. This stance shortens the lifespan of obstacles. Problems resolve more quickly when they are not emotionally fed. The preservation of energy through emotional discipline leads to endurance. Productivity is not a single burst of effort but sustained movement over time. Burnout occurs when emotion consumes more energy than action produces. Harmony reverses this equation. Action becomes energizing because it is not burdened by emotional conflict. One finishes the day strengthened rather than depleted. Speech aligned with harmony also shapes self-image. The way a person speaks about themselves determines how they treat their own capacity. Respectful, affirming speech reinforces self-trust. Self-trust reduces hesitation. Hesitation wastes time and energy. Clear self-regard speeds decision-making and follow-through. As emotional harmony deepens, disciplined speech becomes natural rather than forced. One no longer feels tempted to complain, exaggerate, or dramatize. There is an inner assurance that makes such expression unnecessary. Productivity thrives in this atmosphere because attention remains on purpose rather than disturbance. Life becomes simpler, actions become cleaner, and results appear with less effort, as energy once lost to emotional turbulence is now fully available. E for creation, movement, and fulfillment. Gratitude and clarity activate unseen support and effortless progress because the universe responds most readily to a mind that recognizes order already at work. Gratitude is not a reaction to success. It is the condition that allows success to appear. When gratitude becomes a mental habit, attention shifts from lack to supply, from obstruction to opportunity. This shift alone releases energy that was previously bound in complaint or comparison. A grateful mind is alert, receptive, and expectant, and expectancy is a powerful invitation to cooperation from forces beyond personal effort. Clarity gives gratitude direction. Gratitude without clarity can become vague appreciation, pleasant but unproductive. Clarity focuses gratitude toward purpose. When one knows what they are about, gratitude aligns with intention and accelerates movement. A clear mind does not scatter appreciation randomly, but recognizes each step as part of a larger unfolding. This recognition strengthens confidence and reduces hesitation. Many people slow their progress by doubting their direction, but clarity removes this friction. When direction is clear, gratitude confirms that one is on the right path. Unseen support operates where resistance is low. Gratitude dissolves resistance by softening the mind. A person who is thankful does not argue with life. They do not constantly question timing or demand proof. This absence of argument creates space for assistance to enter. Help often arrives quietly, through insight, coincidence, or unexpected cooperation. These supports remain invisible to those who are tense or skeptical, not because they are absent, but because the mind is too preoccupied to notice them. Clarity also sharpens perception of these supports. When the mind is clear, it recognizes opportunity immediately. What others overlook appears obvious. Productivity increases because time is not wasted deliberating over what is already evident. Clarity shortens the distance between idea and action. Gratitude keeps the mind calm enough to maintain that clarity even under pressure. Together, they create a state in which progress feels natural rather than forced. Effortless progress does not mean absence of effort, but absence of struggle. Struggle arises when one believes they must carry the entire weight of outcome alone. Gratitude reminds the individual that life is cooperative. There is a greater intelligence at work that organizes details beyond conscious control. This recognition lightens the emotional load. Action becomes easier because it is not burdened with anxiety about results. One does what is required now and trusts the rest to unfold. Clarity prevents wasted effort. Many people are busy yet unproductive because they are unclear about priority. Gratitude brings focus to what is essential by highlighting what is already working. Attention naturally moves toward effective action. When gratitude is present, one builds upon success rather than obsessing over failure. This orientation saves time and strengthens momentum. Progress accelerates because energy is invested where return is highest. Unseen support often appears as timing. Things happen at the right moment when clarity and gratitude are maintained. Messages arrive when needed, meetings occur unexpectedly, and solutions present themselves without long searching. These events seem accidental but are the result of alignment. A grateful mind expects good timing and therefore recognizes it when it occurs. An ungrateful mind, focused on lack, misses these openings entirely. Gratitude also neutralizes fear of the future. Fear clouds clarity by projecting imagined obstacles. Gratitude anchors attention in the present where action is possible. In the present, resources are always sufficient for the moment. When one gives thanks for present guidance, future steps reveal themselves naturally. There is no need to rush ahead mentally. This pacing conserves energy and improves accuracy of action. Clarity is strengthened by simplicity. A clear life is not cluttered with unnecessary commitments or conflicting desires. Gratitude encourages simplicity by increasing satisfaction. When one appreciates what is already in motion, the urge to chase distractions diminishes. This restraint enhances productivity by reducing dispersion of effort. Progress becomes steady rather than erratic. Unseen support also manifests through intuition. Gratitude quiets mental noise, making intuition easier to hear. Clarity allows intuition to be trusted. Decisions made intuitively often bypass lengthy analysis, saving time and preventing error. Productivity improves because fewer corrections are needed later. The right choice made once is more efficient than many wrong choices corrected repeatedly. Effortless progress is sustained when gratitude becomes continuous rather than occasional. Intermittent gratitude produces intermittent results. Consistent gratitude maintains a stable inner environment. In this environment, challenges are met without discouragement. One remains open to guidance even when conditions appear uncertain. This openness invites solutions that logic alone cannot reach. Clarity also protects against overexertion. Knowing when to act and when to wait is a form of wisdom. Gratitude reduces the urge to force outcomes prematurely. It trusts that delay may be preparation rather than denial. This trust prevents exhaustion and preserves enthusiasm. When action resumes, it is effective because it is timely. A grateful and clear individual attracts cooperation from others. People are naturally drawn to those who appreciate rather than demand. Cooperation multiplies effort. Much can be accomplished through shared purpose when relationships are harmonious. Gratitude strengthens relationships by acknowledging contribution. Clarity ensures that collaboration is purposeful rather than chaotic. Unseen support often appears as protection. Mistakes are avoided, unnecessary conflicts dissolve, and detours are minimized. This protection is not dramatic but practical. It saves time, energy, and resources. A clear and grateful mind notices warning signs early and adjusts course smoothly. Productivity benefits because losses are prevented rather than repaired. As gratitude deepens, trust replaces strain. Trust allows one to release excessive control. Excessive control slows progress by insisting that everything happen in a specific way. Gratitude accepts that there are multiple paths to the same outcome. This flexibility opens alternatives when the original plan falters. Progress continues uninterrupted. Clarity also enhances commitment. When purpose is clear, one does not abandon efforts prematurely. Gratitude sustains motivation by recognizing small advances as meaningful. These acknowledgments fuel perseverance. Productivity depends on continuity. Effortless progress is often the result of steady movement rather than dramatic leaps. Together, gratitude and clarity establish a mental state in which life feels responsive. Work aligns with purpose, timing aligns with action, and support appears without being summoned. The individual moves forward with confidence, not because everything is known, but because enough is known for the next step. Each step confirms the next, creating a flow that requires less effort than resistance ever did, allowing productivity to express itself as a natural consequence of alignment, rather than a battle to be won.